Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, liebe Teilnehmerinnen und Teilnehmer, wir freuen uns, Sie heute zu unserem Webinar Neues aus dem türkischen Schienenverkehr begrüßen zu dürfen. Da das Webinar auf Englisch durchgeführt wird, darf ich ab sofort auf Englisch übergehen. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's our pleasure to welcome you to our webinar. Let me introduce you our speakers from today. Next to me, I'm very happy to welcome Dr. Ilhami Pektas, who is the cluster manager from ARUS, Anatolian Rail Transportation Network Cluster in Ankara.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Thank you very much for joining us today, Dr. Pektas.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your kind invitation.
Actually, we were also expecting our colleague from Vienna, Mrs. Beatrice Schönstein-Wippel, but unfortunately she cannot participate and join us today, but you will still have the chance to contact her later on. I myself, my name is Christian Meyer. I am the head of Advantage Austria Ankara, and I'm happy to guide you through this webinar today. Let's start and have a look on the foreign trade between Austria and Turkey. As you can see here on our slides, in the past 18 years, the foreign trade volume between both countries has been increasingly steadily. So if you look to the column of volume, you will see that in 2018, in our last year, we nearly had a volume of 3 billion euro, which has slowly been growing over the past 10 years. If you add the service sector, then you will get another around billion euro, and in total it's about 4 billion. So we are actually very happy, but these are figures that of course can be increased as well. Advantage Austria, which is AußenwirtschaftsCenter, is twice represented in Turkey. You can find us in Istanbul, where our colleagues with Mr. Georg Karabacik are headed. And you can find us also in Ankara, the capital of Turkey. From Istanbul, we will also watch Georgia, where there's an office in Tbilisi, and since last year, also in Azerbaijan, in Baku. Let's have a look on Turkey. Turkey has grown in the past years a lot. It has grown in the number of population. So totally, we now have about 82 million people living in Turkey, and it has also grown in point of economy. There has been a very quick economic growth, especially since the last 15 years. This slide here shows you that all over the country, several regional centers have been developed. The biggest center, of course, is the one in Istanbul. This is approximately 20 million people. The second biggest is in Ankara, the capital, with nearly 5 million, and the third biggest in the Aegean region with Izmir. But in addition to that, you can find several other cities which are also very big with more than 1 million inhabitants. If we look to the south, cities like Antalya, Adana, Mersin. If we look to the east and southeast, Gaziantep, Diyarbakir. If we look to central Anatolia, Kayseri, Konya, or to the north, to the Black Sea, Samsun, also Trabzon. And many of these cities, of course, need a secure transportation network. So not only concerning the rail transport, also with air transport, there has been a big increase in Turkey. Today, we have approximately 35 international airports. The biggest one, of course, in Istanbul. And as you might know, just recently, the new airport has been opened, which is in the northwest of Istanbul. And you can see a small picture here. But also other cities are easily reachable via air transport from international and national points. In addition to the air transport, the road network has been growing steadily over the past years. There is, of course, a strong focus on the northwestern area with the triangle between Ankara, Istanbul, and Izmir, which has been connected via highways and speedways. But also to the east and to the south, you can now find many different networks, many different roads, stretching either as a highway or as a very big road over the country, so to say. There are special challenges. In the right, you can see two pictures. One is showing you the tunnel between East European and Asian side of Turkey under the Bosphorus, and the one beneath actually shows you this long bridge which has been recently built over the Marmara Sea and connects Izmir and Istanbul. But there are many more projects being planned and will be executed in the near future. If we look to the cities, then we will also see that, of course, as so many people are living nowadays in cities, actually 70% from these 82 million Turks are living in cities. So they need a good transportation network. And this is actually one of the topics we are heading to today. Let's have a look, like here, for example, to Istanbul, which with nearly 15 or 20 million people in the surroundings, in the suburbs, is the biggest city, but also in other cities like Ankara, Izmir, all over the countryside, you will find metros, tramways, light rail, and so on. This topic will be explained in detail by Dr. Pektas in a moment later. Also, about the rail network, Dr. Pektas will give us more information later on. Let me just show you here the network, which is now covering all of Turkey from west to east, from north to south. And let me just say a few words about this development. In 1923, the Republic of Turkey was founded and only about 4,000 kilometers of rail network existed. Until the change of the centuries, 2003 exactly, unfortunately not many investments were done in the rail sector. The priorities were more on the road and later on the planes. Now, since 2003, several mega projects have been started. And today, this network has been tripled. So we have 12,500 kilometers of network all over Turkey. And a big part of it is actually belonging to highways, to high-speed trains from Ankara to several cities. Now, the target until 2023, which is the 100th anniversary of the Republic of Turkey, is to double this number again. So we should reach about 26,000 kilometers by 2023 in 4 years. For achieving this, of course, a lot of investments are necessary. And here we show you some figures from DCDD, which is the Turkish State Railway Company, which has invested a lot of money, especially since 2010. So you can see that approximately between 6 and nearly 9.5 billion Turkish lira were invested on a yearly basis, and these numbers are planned to continue in the near future. So there is a huge potential, not only for Turkish companies, but especially also for foreign companies who want to enter this market. Let me say a few words about Austrian exports for the Turkish railway industry in 2018. At the moment, last year, we had a total of approximately 23.5 million euro. Most of it actually are parts for the railway sector. You can see 83% of it is just parts. A small part of 15% is made up by railway vehicles, and then some smaller parts like containers or signaling devices. So there is a huge potential to make up for this growing market. Let me say a few words about our activities in the railway sector, not only in Turkey, but also concerning Austria and other countries. For Turkey, we have prepared a report about the railway sector from the past years, which you can order online from us. It's all in German, of course, but if you want, as a Turkish company, you may also receive it. Now, we have the so-called Fresh View publications, which are lists of Austrian companies in certain sectors. On the right, you can see the Fresh View on traffic infrastructure, which is dealing with Austrian companies generally for traffics. but I may say that in the coming months, a special edition just for the railway sector will be published and should be available soon within this year. These publications can be seen also on our webpage. You can access them directly and download them also. I would like to say a few words also about the events in the railway sector, which the office in Ankara, Advantage Austria Ankara, has been doing since the last few years. The railway sector has become one of our major focuses in Turkey because there is a huge market with huge potential, and as Dr. Pektas will show us, there are in future also many projects coming up. One of the first events that we had started took place in 2012, together with Turkish Railway, DCDD, and the United Nations Economic Conference, UNECE, which had a conference which took place with a conference in Ankara, and we invited our companies to join. In 2016, this was the year when the new train station from Ankara, the high-speed train station, was opened. And before the opening, we brought a group of Austrian companies to Ankara and showed them the place with the investments. This event took place also again with Turkish Railway, DCDD, plus the Ankara municipality EGO, which is in charge of the public transport system like metro in Ankara. We organized an incoming mission to Austria last year in June, together with Dr. Pektas, and I would like to thank him again for this nice organization. We brought about 10 persons from the management, from ARUS, to Vienna. We had roundtable meetings and several company visits and started the cooperation together with Bahnindustrie, Verband der Bahnindustrie in Austria, which was a good start for our common businesses. Since then, we are very close cooperating with ARUS, and we are very happy that even today we are continuing with this cooperation. Now, as most of you will be working in that sector, you will know, of course, the biggest fair, which is InnoTrans, taking place in Berlin. And last year in September, our colleagues from Vienna were organizing a big stand of Austrian companies in Berlin. And also ARUS was organizing a big delegation, and we could organize again a meeting. We had the delegation meetings between ARUS and Austrian companies. In Turkey, the biggest fair concerning rail is the so-called Eurasia Rail, which takes place in the west of Turkey in Izmir. This year in April, ARUS had a big stand for their own members, and we invited Austrian companies who were also present in the Eurasia Rail for meetings with ARUS, which we could organize one afternoon, and it was a very good event. We had many good cooperation, good meetings between our companies and ARUS. What are we planning in the future? Of course, we will continue with our attempts to bring Austria and Turkey together. And of course, again, InnoTrans will be one of the focuses. So my colleagues are preparing another stand for InnoTrans in Berlin. If you're interested, please get in touch with Mrs. Schönstein-Wippel from Mobility in Vienna, or you may also contact us in Turkey if you are interested in that. So this is one of the things that will come for sure. But we're also planning to participate again in Eurasia Rail in Izmir, which will happen again. And for next year, but the dates have not been fixed so far, we are also planning to bring some delegations from Austria to Turkey and vice versa from Turkey to Austria to bring our companies together. Now, for our Austrian companies, for our members, if you want to contact us, then either in Vienna, Mrs. Beatrice Schönstein-Wippel, in the Wirtschaftskammer Österreich, or myself in Advantage Austria, AußenwirtschaftsCenter Ankara, we are happy to welcome you and give you feedback. Now, before we start with the presentation of ARUS, we would like to show you a short video from Austrian companies which are already active in Turkey. and we have visited them and you will see what they are doing.
Der Schienenmarkt Türkei bietet für österreichische Unternehmen sehr gute Geschäftschancen. In den vergangenen 5 Jahren wurden bereits rund 7,5 Milliarden US-Dollar investiert und auch in den kommenden Jahren sind große Investitionen vorgesehen. Der Schwerpunkt liegt dabei vor allem im Bereich Hochgeschwindigkeit und innerstädtischer Ausbau. Österreichische Unternehmen sind in der Türkei bereits sehr erfolgreich tätig. Im Anschluss zeigen wir Ihnen einige Beispiele, wo Sie Made in Austria in der Türkei finden können. Wir befinden uns hier im neu errichteten Hochgeschwindigkeitsbahnhof von Ankara, der zu den modernsten Europas gehört. Das Parkhaus des Hochgeschwindigkeitsbahnhofes wurde mit einem Zutrittssystem der Firma Schienenverkehr ausgestattet. Die Firma Getzner Werkstoffe ist bereits seit einigen Jahren erfolgreich in der Türkei tätig. Herr Bayer, können Sie uns zu Ihren Projekten etwas erzählen?
Sehr gerne. Momentan arbeiten wir am größten Projekt in der Bahngeschichte der Türkei, und zwar für die Hochgeschwindigkeitsstrecke Ankara nach Sivas. Wenn wir uns die aktuellen Fotos anschauen, sehen Sie hier Unterschottermatten, die in den Viadukten installiert wurden. Auch Schwellenbesohlungen haben wir bei den Schwellen installiert. Bei den ganzen Viadukten wurden unsere Getzner Unterschottermatten verwendet.
Voestalpine ist seit ein paar Jahren mit einem Joint Venture in der Türkei vertreten. Wir sind heute bei dem Geschäftsführer, Herrn Juni, zu Gast.
Wir sind ein Joint Venture von Voestalpine, der türkischen Eisenbahn TCDD und Karden mit den lokalen Stahlproduzenten. Wir produzieren Hochgeschwindigkeitsweichen und konventionelle Weichen in der Türkei in Çanakkale und wir machen auch die Wartung von der Hochgeschwindigkeitsstrecke zwischen Konya, Ankara und Istanbul für die nächsten 2 Jahre.
Das Unternehmen Plaza Turkey ist ein offizieller Partner von Plaza und Teurer in der Türkei. Am Standort in Ankara werden mit 20 Mitarbeitern Maschinen und Ersatzteile für den lokalen und internationalen Markt produziert und gewartet. Herr Diplom-Ingenieur Başul, Ihr Unternehmen B&B International aus Linz ist in der Türkei im Bereich Lärmschutzverbauung tätig.
Wir sind seit 2017 mit der österreichischen Firma Delta Block zusammen in der Türkei tätig. Diese Lärmschutzwände verkaufen wir türkische Bahn und Ankara und der Umgebung haben wir ca. 30.000 Quadratmeter gebaut.
Möchten auch Sie mit Ihrem Unternehmen im Schienenmarkt Türkei tätig werden? Das Team des AußenwirtschaftsCenter Ankara freut sich auf Ihre Kontaktaufnahme.
After this short presentation about activities of Austrian companies in Turkey, I would now like to hand over to Dr. Pektas, who will give us information about ARUS and about future upcoming projects in Turkey. Dr. Pektas.
Thank you very much for your kind invitation again. I am here because we want to develop our relationship between ARUS, Anatolian Rail Transportation System, and Austria Rail Association. Then, firstly, I would like to give some information about Anatolian Rail Transportation System. As you know, with 170 firm companies, 19 supporting organizations, more than 30,000 employees, and the worldwide national brands, ARUS is a leader of the railway sector in Turkey. Our mission to increase the level of cooperation of our cluster members with each other and supporting institutions, and to increase domestic, innovative and national brand rail transportation systems to increase the level of international competitiveness of the rail sector. Our vision is to produce domestic and national brand rail transportation systems from design to final products and to make our national brands to be worldwide brands. ARUS, the aim of ARUS, cooperation, collaboration, and national brand. So, as you see the figure, these are our national brands, İpek Böceği and others. Please look at the figure before 2020 and after 2020. 12. So ARUS was founded in 2012. Before 2012, there was a lot of rail transportation systems, more than 3,000, approximately 3,461 total vehicles purchased from outside. These the companies Alstom, Hyundai, Rotem, CAF, 12 countries and 14 foreign brands. Alstom, Hyundai, Rotem, CAF, ABB, GSR, GNR, Siemens, Bombardier, Ansaldo, Birada, Skoda, Mitsubishi, and other tram brands. After establishing of the ARUS, then we stopped the foreign purchase, and then we put into the domestic production. And the 1,293 vehicles have domestic production now. The others, there is no domestic production. Then our companies, Durmazlar, Bozankaya, Istanbul Ulaşım, Tülomsaç, Tülomsaç, Aselsan, has increased the domestic production ratio more than 60%. So we have the save of 50% saving for this purchasing. Since I was founded 2012, our number of the members are 170, and our provinces, our members are located in 22 cities. Then we have 8 national brand railway vehicles. Then we have 40 vehicles and national brands. And we exported 25 countries our products, and the annual report for last year 300 million euros, including signalization and infrastructure. So we have 8 national brands railway vehicles now. These are our cluster members. We have, as mentioned before, 170 companies and 19 supporters and ministries. If we check our members' certificates, 54 welding certificates. These are our companies, our members, like Aşarlar Vagon and others. And 34 ARUS certification. These are our companies, Avitek, Kauçuk, Asaş, Aluminium, Alpin, Avitaş, and others. And 10 TSI, the technical specification for interoperability certificates. And these are our companies, RC Industry, Tülemsaç, Gökyapı, Reuto, and others. And 9 members have ECM, entity in charge of maintenance certificate, like Aşarlar Vagon. Our activities is summarized as presentation activities, training, international competition development project, and the national and international B2B negotiation, international competition development, cooperation workshop, meetings, and conferences. These are our international, some of our activities in these events. And I want to mention about this, ARUS is a member of the European Rail Cluster, RC. So we attend the RC meetings and RC activities also in Europe. If we mention about some of our products, for example, Durmazlar Panorama tram brand, national brand, and Bozankaya Talas national brand, and Panorama, and also other locomotives. This is some electrical locomotives, wagons, chassis, bogies, also cylindrical wagons, other kind of wagons. Inner trim, outer trim, lighting systems. We can produce all kind of the parts of the train systems. These are other examples of our products. Also, we produce rail systems up to 72 meters length, and also we start to produce wheels, train wheels in Kardemir. What are achievements? As you see in the figure, we produced Istanbul tram, Panorama tram in Bursa and Kocaeli, Samsun, and diesel multiple unit and electrical multiple unit locomotives, and Talas tram, İpek Böceği tram in Bursa, and TGV trambus and LRT metro car, light rail systems, and electrical locomotives. If you compare our railway systems, some of European countries, such as Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and as you see, we need more rail systems, especially high-speed trains, locomotives, train sets, passenger wagons, and freight wagons. We need a lot of rail systems. If you mention about the railway systems in Turkey, in 1853, we had only 130 kilometers railway length. Between 1856 and 1923, we had 4,000 kilometers railway. Between 1924 and 2003, 4,709 kilometers railway network. 2004 and between 2004 and 2016, we had 1,805 kilometers railway network. Now 3,057 kilometers under construction now, and 7,589 kilometers under tender and project phase now, and 2,650 kilometers railway systems are planned and also targeted. So currently our railway network is 12,532 kilometers, and 2023 target railway network is 25 kilometers, and 2035 target railway network is 30,000 kilometers railway length. So we need more railway construction. In the current situation of railway system of Turkey, attractive stock numbers available, active, and percentage of activity, such as mainline electrical locomotive and others. Also, how the stocks available, passenger wagons, freight wagons, close freight wagons, the numbers, available numbers and active train systems, and also activity percentage. What we need, Turkish rail vehicle requirements until 2035. Including high-speed train set, if we check our table between 2017 and 2023 and 2024 and 2035, and the high-speed train, urban electrical multiple unit, intercity electrical multiple unit, diesel multiple unit, electrical mainline locomotive and others, including freight wagons. So we need 2,104 vehicles and 31,230 wagons. These are approximately, including the infrastructure and signalization, 100 billion euros. If you look at the subway rail system in Istanbul, before 2004, we had only 45-kilometer line. And between 2004 and 2016, we had 145 kilometers railway length. Between 2016 and 2019, we have 76 kilometers approximately length. After 2019, it will be 1,000 kilometers railway length. So Istanbul has the metro cars, trams, before 2023, 2,150 vehicles before 2023, and after 2023, Istanbul needs 5,000 vehicles, including trams and metro cars. If we summarize urban rail transportation system in Turkey, the urban rail systems operations serve in 12 cities in our country. These cities are Istanbul, Ankara, Bursa, İzmir, Konya, Kayseri, Eskişehir, Adana, Antep, Antalya, Samsun, and Kocaeli. And 3,461 metro car, light rail transportation system, tram, and suburban vehicles serve for these operations now. In addition, other cities plan to use railway systems in the near future, such as Diyarbakır, Mersin, Erzurum, Erzincan, Urfa, Denizli, Sakarya, and Trabzon, 8 cities. So we need more metro car and also tram railway systems, also infrastructure. These are the operated railway systems, 12 cities mentioned before. These are the planned railway systems, other cities, Diyarbakır, Mersin, Erzurum, 8 cities. So currently, if you mention about the current situation of urban rail transportation system, Istanbul has 1,955 tram and metro car. Ankara has 465 metro and LRT car. Ankara commuter Başkent Ray has 96 commuter train. Adana, İzmir commuter trains, others, and totally for these 12 cities, we have 3,461 LRT and metro car. If we mention about the localization after 2012, establishing of ARUS, Bursa tram localization 60%. The brand name is İpek Proje. The number of the vehicles 18. Bursa LRT light railway systems Green City, and the localization 60%, and the number of the vehicles 60. Kayseri tram produced from Bozankaya, localization 50%. The name of the brand Talas, the number of the vehicles 30. Kocaeli 18, Samsun 8, Istanbul trams 30, and others. We have now 240 national brand and domestic production in Turkey. And these vehicles are soaring in the cities: Istanbul, Bursa, Kocaeli, Samsun, Kayseri. Turkey's rail vehicle requirements as a summary until 2023. We need 350 diesel locomotives, more than 100 high-speed trains. This is increase 191 up to 2025. And we need 7,000 metro and train and LRT light railway systems, and more freight wagons, especially 11,000, more than 11,000, and electrical locomotives, suburban train sets in the cities, and the diesel multiple units and the passenger wagons. We need a lot of railway systems up to 2035. Why domestic and national production? And ARUS is trying to domestic production, also national brand in the railway systems. Since by the Prime Ministry circulate number as published in official Gazette, dated 7 November, at least 51% domestic products in the tenders of cable cars, funicularies, monorails, metros, trams, and all kinds of rail systems, at least should be 51%. And by the regulation made in the public requirement procurement law numbered 4,732, so we have to domestic production as a rule. The ratio depends on the tender, metro car, high-speed train, and others. So we have to put some domestic production, or we produce national brand. This is the presidency rule. Since 2012, after establishing of the ARUS, as a summary, domestic contribution has become mandatory, and 1,293 vehicles have been purchased. 240 of these vehicles are between 50 and 60% domestically contributed national brand vehicles, named Panorama, Istanbul, Talas, Silkworm, Green City, TGV Trambus, electrical, diesel, and hybrid locomotives. Subsidiary establishment of TCDD, Triumsash and Tüyasash produce domestic and national electrical multiple unit and diesel multiple unit trains. Aselsan gives great support to do domestication efforts. Besides, Bozankaya export 88 metro vehicles to Bangkok, Thailand with Siemens, and Turmazlar export 20 trams to Poland. As understand all these underlying and sentences, ARUS companies produce trams, LRT, light railway systems, metro car, electrical multiple unit, diesel multiple unit trains with totally domestic and national brand, and they have started exporting. We also export these cars, train systems. So we want to make new technology transfer and joint investment, joint ventures with Austria in Turkey. If please look at the figures, we planned 100 billion euros, including infrastructure, until 2035 year. Before we have spent 7 billion euros for LRT and metro car and other railway systems. since we had the 12 countries and the 14 different brands, so spare parts different, workmanship is different, stock expenses are different. So we have spent extra 7 billion euros again. So totally 15 billion euros, the expenses of all these urban railway systems. Now, also TCDD has spent 9 billion euros for including infrastructure and signalization, plus and urban expenses. So we had approximately 25 billion euros. Between 2002 and 2000 up to now, TCDD also has expanded 60 billion Turkish liras. I think if we compare the euros, 9 billion euros. Now up to 2020, 2035, we need 100 billion euro investment. Our requirements: 7,000 metro, LRT, and tramway, and 31,000 freight wagons, and 2,104 high-speed train, speed and diesel multiple unit, electrical multiple unit, and suburban trains. So we have to produce all these vehicles as a domestic and national brand now. We don't want to buy any foreign vehicles.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Pektas. This was a very interesting overview, and we are very interested now in receiving questions from our participants. Before the questions come in, let me just summarize, I think, the two important points. One point from my side is that there is a big demand in high speed, in normal trains, but also in urban lines, light rail and metro.
Yes.
So you showed us the figures that in the coming years there is a big demand for such vehicles.
We have big potential.
Yeah. But on the other hand, as you have pointed out at the end now, with this law that the domestic production has to be used at least 51%.
At least 51%.
This means that foreign companies which want to enter the market should be ready to make a cooperation, or when they come here to operate with their own company in this country.
Yeah. Also, we increased the ratio to 60%.
To 60%. Okay. And I think it will also increase in the coming years.
Yes.
I mean, so depending on the project, the tender, and so on. So maybe it goes up, and the requirements for localization.
New tender, I think, should be localization percentage 70%.
70%.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we are waiting for questions from our participants. Please feel free to type, or if you have long questions, to send us a mail afterwards. Let's just wait and see what will happen. Okay. One question: we have not been active in Turkey in the market so far. How shall we proceed? Now, this is a very general question which we can answer easily, and we just mentioned before. First of all, we, as the Advantage Austria team, we are the focus point or your contact point in Turkey. So any Austrian company that wants to enter the market is invited to join us, to inform us, and we will look for a partner. And in that respect, Dr. Pektas, of course, will assist us to find the right partner.
Yes.
But in case if a company is very confident, they might even decide to set up their own subsidiary in Turkey.
Yes.
In that respect, I think it is counted as a local company.
Yes.
So if a foreign company opens an office in Turkey, then
they can open the office, but we have to joint venture.
So again, they have to join a Turkish partner.
Yes.
and submit the tender documents together.
Yes.
Okay, good. So this would be the easiest way to approach Turkey as a market. And
last week we went to South Africa. South Africa rules 65% local production.
65.
Chinese local production rule at least 70%. And Poland, Hyundai Rotem gained a tender in Poland or Warsaw to 213 trains. They said that 60% localization from Poland or AB countries. So
AB, you mean EU countries?
AB countries. So we have to apply this domestic production, not only domestic production, we apply directly national brand production. So we have the ability. So we need some new technology. So we can do joint ventures, and then we can do joint investment in Turkey easily together. Why not?
You have shown us an overview about what needs in detail are there in Turkey. Where do you think are the priorities? I mean, in spare parts or in locomotives? I mean, which companies are very successful?
In Turkish companies or?
Well, if an Austrian company wants to open or let's say enter the market, and the company, what parts
for example,
they produce?
Traction motors, traction system is very important for us. Also, Austrian TCI, I think TCI company is very successful of production.
So any kind of spare parts,
traction systems and control systems. So we have to have a joint venture with this company in Turkey about traction systems.
Okay, we are checking now. We received already some questions. Wenn wir das noch etwas größer machen können, das Feld. Dr. Pektas, can you say that the provision of localization is a prerequisite for not being disqualified? So a company which is not in the market cannot enter the tender. They need to have a Turkish partner.
No, we can apply directly.
They need to have a foot in Turkey. Let's say they need to have either partner. They cannot apply directly from Austria. That's not
quality
possible.
Also is good, so we can apply directly.
Yeah, no problem. This also answers the second question: what is the advantage of a company that has localized over a company that has not yet localized in terms of tender criteria evaluation? Well, generally speaking, you need to have a partner here in Turkey. I mean, otherwise you would not be able to enter the tender. But in which form, that I think we need to discuss in detail once we know what companies are really doing.
As you know, this some near future tenders from Istanbul, the localization is increased from 50% to 70%.
So it's also different from one place, from one city to the other, concerning the content of localization, we can say.
No. We apply all of these keys, not only one.
Another question: for what kind of track vehicles does the local content of 51% apply? What kind of track vehicles?
What kind of track vehicles?
So for what this 51% localization, is it actually applicable for all?
Oh, yes, for all.
Okay.
Not only one.
Okay. Then it says, how will we proceed the certification authorization of those vehicles in Turkey? Now, do they need to have a certificate, for example, from DCE, Turkish Standard Institute, or where do they need to get an approval to work here, let's say, to have the products recognized in Turkey?
Because Euro norms application is needed in Turkey also. So we can directly apply Euro norms, not only Turkish standards.
So if a company from Austria, which already has fulfilled, of course, the conditions in Austria, which are European norms, applies here in the market, they can show these.
Yes.
Okay. Another question. Oh, that's very nice for you. How to become a member of ARUS? I think we can answer that quickly. Just contact.
It is too easy. You can apply and then we evaluate in our management board.
But it needs to be a Turkish company, or can a foreign company in Austria become a member?
If a foreign company is located in Turkey and then they produce the local products, so they can apply for as a member of ARUS.
Okay. So they need to be a Turkish company, let's say, otherwise it's not possible. Then it says, do we have to expect Turkish lira as contract currency, or will euro payments be possible for rail projects?
I think the government, apply this Turkish lira or euro.
All the tenders, are they now in Turkish lira or again in euro? Because for foreign companies, it's of course always the exchange rate, which makes it a little bit difficult.
I think the government has a role, Turkish lira, to
apply that.
It is difficult for tenders, but the government will.
Okay.
Maybe near future can be changed. I don't know.
Then we have a question: is there an overview about which vehicles will be bought in the future and when the tenders will come out? The tenders are mainly from the railway, Turkish railway, TCDT. Are they also listed or done by the Kamu İhale Kurum? I mean, by the national tender?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can get the information when you follow the tenders which are published by the national tender.
Also we apply the SIP, Industrial Sanayi İşbirliği, Industrial Cooperation Program. How many percentage can be localization?
Yes.
During this tender.
Yeah. But which tenders? I mean, is there a list that a company from Austria can follow? So they have to follow.
Yes.
For the we can give this information then by mail where to follow the tenders, because I think these are published on a daily basis and it needs, of course, some Turkish knowledge as well to access this information.
Yes. It's open.
Okay. Another question: Metro Istanbul with CRRC was on hold for some time. It was said after the elections in Istanbul it will go on now. Is this the case now? Okay, now this is of course a very up-to-date question, I would say. As you might know, recently elections have been done in Istanbul and repeated. So there is a new mayor now, and I think we don't know at the moment what will happen with.
I don't know. I think.
We have to wait and see what.
But if the tender is finished,
yes.
I think there will be no problem.
So it will not interfere affect
the tenders. Yes.
Yeah.
But after near future tenders and future tenders may be affected.
Okay, yeah, the following months, of course, that we will see what the new municipality administration will decide.
But we will force about the domestic production, also national brand.
Yes, yeah. But I think we also should point out that, I mean, Istanbul with 15 million people, inhabitants, of course, is attractive. But as we have shown in our slides, the other cities are also very, very attractive markets, because many cities will now open up, we'll have metros, we'll have light rails.
For example, Ankara, capital of Turkey, also plans the airport to apply metro rail systems near future. So also we want to produce locally and also national brand.
And also for smaller cities, I mean, tramway will be built and light rail. I mean, so one should take into account the whole country, I would say, for all big cities.
Konya is important. Izmir is important for railway systems, especially urban railway systems, also high-speed train.
Then let's have a look for another question. In how far does the current economic situation influence the current respective planned projects? Yeah, this is difficult to say. I mean, we have an inflation of approximately 20% at the moment.
I don't think so.
But on the other hand, as the tenders should be given in Turkish lira, I mean, there is of course always, you need to be flexible when you enter the market and you have to calculate in euro.
Yes.
But I think there is a way to overcome that.
The companies, I think, they calculate the currency and also other problems. Also
Yes.
put the real numbers and then go to the tenders. But it is difficult to.
Yeah. I mean, in that respect, I would like to point out also that ÖKB, the österreichische Kontrollbank, offers good conditions for exporters. So if you're an Austrian company exporting to markets like Turkey, we can assist you in getting in touch with ÖKB to have special securities for our market. Then let's have another question here. Wer sind, sorry, in English, asking for a list of main producers of locomotives, wagons, and air conditioning. If there is a list like that. Well, after the webinar will be finished, we will send out actually a mail with many more information. And with this, I also would like to come to an end because our time is nearly finished. So you will receive information with the list of all ARUS members, which are 170, and let's say that these are really the main companies.
Website, they can easily check our company.
We will also give the webpage.
Other
there will also be a movie, a short movie about ARUS members. So you will receive many more information after this session.
Yes, also.
And with this, actually, I see that it's already 4 o'clock.
Okay,
I would like to thank.
Everything included in our website.
Yes. Okay. So we will forward this information to you, and we will also have a look for your questions again.
Also, we will send mail.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pektas, for joining us today. Thanks our participants for being with us, and we wish you a nice day and hope to see you in Turkey soon.
So Austria is important, so we have to make investments. Thank you.